From the F3 Nation podcast studios.
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
This is the COT podcast, connecting the packs of F3 Nation through fitness, fellowship, and faith.
I'm Sean McKinley, 40 Denali.
Package. Trip win, 30. Bogey.
46, Turnpike.
COT podcast starts right now.
Shut up and sit down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, got the dynamic duo back together again after a week.
Feels good
to have you back.
It's good to be back. I missed last week. I was neck deep in mammon work last week, and it was
all the way up to his little earlobes.
Yeah. Which is, you know how tall I am. That's pretty far.
Pretty
up
deep.
there.
That's pretty deep.
Glad we've got hymns like yourself and Scratch to flex into the chair when your boy's got to take care of some business. So
it was good to have him in the Ed McMahon seat, as we called it last week. And that was for last week's episode of the Circle of Trust podcast. You're back again. You got Hello Kitty and Repeato bringing you the news of the F3 Nation. Good news abounds across this beautiful thing that connects us through fitness, fellowship, and faith. Hope you listeners are having a splendid week. If you are of the Christian faith, a wonderful Holy Week that we wish to you. I know I do. I know my brother does as well. And man, it's good to have you back, buddy.
Hey man, it's good to be here. It's a big week. Very, very enlightening week, rejuvenating week. T-claps to you for your Lenten effort on your deep dive into some scripture and banging out 33 push-ups Merkins audience every morning and sticking with that. I know that takes time, intentionality, and effort, and I hope that has been a impactful and fruitful thing for you personally, but also as a leader of your household. I bet it has been. So that's been cool to watch.
Few things. 33 straight, no light feat to bang out 33 big dogs, and I try to do it like as quick to when I wake up as possible. Sometimes they're a little delayed, but it's like one of the first things I'm doing of the day. Get up, get downstairs, hit the 33. They've definitely gotten easier, and then dive into what the gospel reading for the day is, which has brought more strength and clarity to my day than the 33 push-ups, which has been cool. And I stole that idea from somebody else because I don't have a lot of genuinely original ideas.
Let's just be honest. There are no new,
of course not,
ideas.
But I'll tell you what, man.
Nobody's as ingenious as they think they're.
Let's take a quick hard pivot into some third F, and we'll go deep into sort of I'll do a little religious third F. Because one thing that was neat for me today, and I was thinking about F3 a lot, quite frankly, with it. The gospel reading today is about when Jesus basically said, "Hey, Judas, this is going to be the guy, right? Like somebody's going to betray me here at the end, the man who dips his hand in the cup with me." And all the disciples are looking around like, is it me? Is it me? Surely it's not me. Surely it's not me. It's a Judas, right? Surely it's not me. Jesus says, yeah, you say it is. So we find out that it's him. What's interesting, and I was reading a reflection about it, was none of them suspected it was him. Right? There's 12 of them. They're around each other all the time. The murmurings weren't like, man, I bet it's Judas. Like none of them suspected it was him. He was, sort of predestined for that to be his moment in life. And my thought was, he wasn't a bad dude. He wasn't a bad disciple, right? Some doubt, some evil comes into his life, and he fulfills that role. So you don't know what guys, it was kind of like, you don't know what guys have going on. You don't know what they're struggling with. You don't know what they're dealing with. We talk about that all the time. It might be the guy you least suspect that might be struggling with some anxiety or pressures or whatever. And I kind of just, for me, dumbed it down to that.
Yeah.
Judas was one of the 12. This was a thing that he had to play a role in this critically important moment. And in that moment, he becomes the one, and some doubt, to go deeper, some doubt started to creep into his mind earlier.
Right.
And you see that in some later scripture. And so he gets sort of propelled into that role. By no means am I some great scripture scholar. I'm just a dude who
right.
every day to
no, and I'm not either, but
a little bit more, but my point was, the other 11 around the table weren't like, well, it's not going to be me, but it's probably him. They didn't point fingers at him.
No, they all looked inward, right? They're like, there was fear there that is it me? Could it be me? Will it be me?
Right.
So I think there's a whole other message just in that reflection of thinking about, your own faults first.
Yeah, that's right.
In certain situations. So it's a powerful 45 days. Is that right? 45?
Well, today's day 43.
43.
Right. It's not 40. You think
no.
Technically you got Holy Week, right? Which extends out a little bit, right? Technically.
So it's a good season of reflection. It has, a lot to do with spring and obviously rebirth and rejuvenation and all those fun things. We here locally, I think we've talked about in years past. We always do a Stations of the Cross beat down on Friday morning, Good Friday morning, which is a convergence. This year, with the expansion and growth of our region, they're adding a second type of convergence in some other regions with the 7 sayings of Jesus.
I've seen cross ruck exercises, stuff like that.
Exactly. So it's a good way to bring a lot of people together. There will be people obviously with strong Christian faith. There will be guys there with slight Christian faith or acknowledgement of other faiths. I mean, it'll be a good solid morning that's peak third F, but very much peak second F too. That's right. With a little bit of beat down.
And let me give a T clap out in a moment of praise to my 6-year-old who has gone 43 days sans tablet. This was her idea. Cece was like, I'm giving up my tablet for Lent.
What?
Like, for real? She's made it all the way. We got a long car ride tomorrow down to Aunt Betty's house. She gets it back tomorrow.
Okay. So, hey,
pretty impressive, man.
T claps to her at 6.
6.
I mean, could you put your phone down for 43 days, Brian?
No, stronger than I am.
Yeah.
She was proud of herself too, which was good.
Well, she should be. And that's awesome. Good for her.
All right, let's get into the news of the
jump
nation. Enough about us. Although there's some good stuff in there that
we got a lot we could talk about.
We sure could. You
this and I had the broader.
Well, listen, we had a great chance to just have some fellowship over the weekend. I had one of our buddies that goes back years and years, college with. Important moments, man. Times you got to be able to take and unwind a little bit with the fellas.
I mean, I've known both of you since 2002. So we are right at almost 20 years at the end of this summer when we got to App. It was great. Masters was on. I'm
reminded when I see the gray in my beard that is the case.
Pimento cheese sandwiches were consumed. Possible Swiss cake rolls were
little queen, Swiss
also around.
Fellas get together. All right, let's get into the news of the nation. All right, we got a few things going. It is not too late, guys. If the weekend of April 22nd, 23rd, 24th is open for you to end up in Jacksonville, Florida, don't forget our friends at Go Ruck, along with some other great organizations, F3 included, are throwing a massive fitness and fellowship party. It's called Sandlot Jacks. We've got a discount code for you at sandlotjacks.com, sunshine_F3. It only costs $200 to go. They're knocking $50 off the registration. That's for the whole weekend. There's going to be a bunch of physical fitness activities, and then it's like a big party, and you've got a bunch of great guest speakers, one of which is Dredd. We know there's going to be a bunch of F3 guys there, and the men of F3 Jacksonville, with Saigon Sam as their leader, are leading an F3 workout that Saturday morning at 0700. So be sure to check that out. Sandlotjacks.com is the website for that. The FOMO, I'm sure, will be real for those of us watching from afar who can't attend. Looks like it's going to be a good time. You mentioned we had Scratch and Win on last week. If you didn't get a chance to listen to that, Scratch talks a lot about what the F3 Foundation grant making process is going to look like. If you guys want to leverage some of those funds that we've raised to then pour back into your region or your local community, go to f3-foundation.org/grants. And you can learn more
dash
about
and slash.
that. A dash and a slash. So go check that out as well. We had a Grow Ruck, right? Had the first one of the calendar year a couple weeks ago. Got 26. Our second one is rapidly approaching. So tell us a little bit about what GT 27 is going to look like in Middle Tennessee.
It's going to be another true regional approach. There's a lot of good regions in and around the greater Nashville area. The guys have been working hard to guys and get guys trained up and prepped and ready. We had some Grow Ruck calls last week. We had another long one last night. So a lot of good lot of good things happening. I mean, you see it in perpetuity when we've got some nation guys or others that can take control of some of our social media channels and put stuff out there. And that's just a glimpse of what the weekend really is all about. And so my mission in life with my Grow Ruck hat on is to make sure that all F3 men are exposed to that weekend at some form or fashion in the near future or another one. And, we're doing a lot of strategic planning when it comes to the execution of these events and how we put them together and how we pull them off. And we are battling, just like everybody's households, we are battling rising costs across the board and what it takes to put these on.
Totally.
And so travel's high, travel costs are high, but we're still trying to make it work so that the cost to the PAX doesn't go up and that we are still executing a value added, impactful weekend that, you and I have both personally experienced, and we'll continue to strive and grow this program and scale it responsibly so we can get in front of every PAX in every region. So it's going to be a whale of a time. Registration is open. You've most likely missed the t-shirt deadline. We usually order a few extra just in case we get some more, but you can register all the way up through the day to the day of the event. And so do that. If you're sitting on the fence, it's life-changing. We want you there. So
the schedule filling out, guys. So check it out. It's April 30th. That's the Saturday. You got Friday night rally, and then Saturday, Middle Tennessee, GTE 27. And then when you go to the Grow Ruck website, you can also see what the rest of the schedule looks like for the rest of the year, and all the registrations are open. If you're thinking about it and considering it, let this be our weekly endorsement for completing one of those events, participating in and completing. It is a game changer. It will stay with you for a long, long time, if not forever, because there are just moments that happen throughout that process that you're able to lean back on. Or if you have something hard facing you, you're like, well, shoot, man, I just did a 16-hour overnight ruck event. Whatever. And I'm not even joking, man. Like, you can take that with you to do
the hard thing.
You've got to go seek it, right? Ain't nobody going to sign you up for this event. Nope. Well, maybe you got a friend that does it to you, which is a pretty classic move.
Right.
Like, hey, I signed you up and paid for you, man. Come on, don't waste my money.
Do that. That's a great way if you can swing it.
Yep. I know we're eyeballing the rest of the schedule. HC for the Virginia Beach event coming up in October. Fired up about that. And all the other ones, man. The guys of Georgia are going to be doing in September, the weekend of 9/11. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I think already 30 guys are registered for the September event, which is a pretty high number considering
at this point in
time. 5 months out. The guys up in Puget Sound are rocking and rolling, getting prepared and ready to go forward. Our bros
That's
in Plainfield, Illinois.
Is there May? May? Do we have May off? What's May?
No. May is Northwest Arkansas.
That's right. Then we're in Arkansas.
Then we're just northwest of Fayetteville, in the northwest corner of that great state, and looking at more and more of those regions around there. We need to up the numbers out of Kansas City and St. Louis and Memphis, and coming down from even from Illinois and other points in between, up from Louisiana or Texas. You guys,
part of me is like, if you've done one and you're like, man, but I just did one a year ago. Think about the guy who's doing it for the first time and what a valuable asset you could be to him throughout that process.
Yeah, it's peak. It's not about you, right? So
totally.
But then the only month off really is August, which was a strategic break, one for the heat in some of the areas in and around after we had some heat issues last year.
I would say so.
In Metro, but also, give our teams a break. Our cadres are working hard. Cadre Danny is leading those guys, and all our new CITs who are going to these first events and getting, their practical exercises and training in so they can become full-fledged cadres. But then our trainer group, and sending those guys across the country. We are actively getting trainers in training, set up for success so that they can be full-blown trainers for events the rest of this year and into next year. School starting I mean, there's a lot of things happening in August. So
we've got cadres in training, CITs, and we've got trainers in training.
Trainers in training. Yes.
Let's leave it at that. All right. Hey, we've got some great calls to get to.
Let's go.
Bing called in from the Sun Coast, right? Gnarly Goat's got a goat rep for us. We'll do that in a moment. Let's turn the nation's lowlier eyes, because we got a prayer request and we need you guys to lean in, not only pray, but if there are ways you can potentially help as well. F3 Alpha lost a F3 brother within the last week, and it's a terrible tragedy. I'll just read it to you. It says, we're heartbroken at the loss of Stuart Evans. He went by F3 Ready Mix, who passed away from a skiing accident while vacationing with his family. Please pray for his wife and daughters in your COT this week. Men, carry that on your hearts and pray for them. And also pray for F3's Puff Daddy. His hospital name is Paul. Their families were together, right? And they were together when this happened. So it's one of those moments, man, where you go out for what, should be an incredible family vacation and moment. And then just something really terrible happens. We can never understand it. We never get to know why. But what we can at least do is lean in and pray for that family and add them to what you're thinking about, man, what your family's praying for, however you do it. But the Evans family needs us to be thinking about them and lifting them up this week.
Yeah, rally around that family, as well as the packs of Alpha, who lost a brother, and Paul Puff Daddy.
Yep.
It's in times of some of these greatest tragedies and loss where the most reflection takes place, and it continues to hammer home to me. And I don't know if this is an age thing with me getting older, and my kids getting older, and just the totality of circumstances around a lot of things. It's really something like this that happens all too frequently, it seems. We say it all the time about tomorrow's not promised, and you're trying to make the most of today, and don't let the little things really derail your day or your ability to lead your household or your workplace. There's a lot more important stuff going on than the things you're probably getting, overblown about. So take a step back, take a deep breath, and appreciate those and what's around you.
Well said. We're going to the phone lines. The number to call us and submit PAX generated content is 844-4COT PAX. Guys, the phone lines are open every week. We love nothing more than to hear from you. We love nothing more than to bring your voices to this show, to share what's happening in your regions. So give us a call, 844-4COT PAX. Or if you're like, man, I'll just take out my phone, record a little something on a voice memo, then just email it to us, COT@f3nation.com, or text it to us at that same number, 844-4COT PAX. When we go to the phone lines, we're heading down to Florida. Bing checking in with a 5-year anniversary update from the Suncoast.
COT Podcast. It's Bing from the F3 Suncoast and the F3 Nation leadership team. Just calling to give a quick update. The boys in the Suncoast celebrated their 5-year anniversary last weekend. We had 70 men participate in an hour-long boot camp that included cues by 3 of the 4 original Redwoods here in the nation, or in the Suncoast, including Drake, Recall, and myself, and then also had another Redwood in attendance in Sterling. One of the cool things was we had packs ranging in age from 88 to 80, all the way down to the teen years, so it's great to see the spread, and it's great to see the men being invigorated here in the Suncoast. Looking forward to another great 5 years, and looking forward to continued great leadership as we've had some phenomenal Nantans in Lancelot following me, and then our boy Ripken, who is our current Nantan. So appreciate all the support of the packs, appreciate the support of this region taking over after I step down as Nantan, and look forward to seeing where this group goes in the future. Bing, out.
Hey, I also just got an email from Bing, which is timely.
At the same time?
Yeah, at the same time. And it's about an update from the guys from the UK on their expansion, which is pretty neat. So let me just read it. I just got it. Said, hey, Bing, Chili Pepper here. Happy to support and guide as needed to make Manchester a success. So they're looking to not just plant and grow, but expand. They said since we've launched here in Southeast, which they're in, again, they're over in the UK, it says we've established 3 AOs with each beat down 3 times per week, and all consistently double digit figures. And by the way, every single man in their COT has a gesture or a thing he does when he says his name. It's excellent. If you've seen the videos,
I haven't.
They're great.
I need to go.
They make me want to up the HG game, the hand gesture game, the HGG. They've got a regional first FQ, regional second FQ. They've established co-AOQs for all 3 AOs to drive more ownership. And they've got 6 AOQs happening. So just, man, love what those guys are doing over there. And they created this beatdown generator that is a web-based. Have you seen this thing? They uploaded the entire Exicon into it. You hit refresh and it generates out for you a whole workout. Warmerama, thing, like a whole thing. It's incredible. Yeah.
Well, that just takes away a lot of the pressure and
Sure does.
ingenuity of trying to do this on the fly when the cue doesn't show up, or if you forget your cueing, or
That's right.
yeah,
You'd be ready to roll.
What a great thing for a VQ. Interesting.
Yep. It's got everything you need. All right. T-Clap goes out to men of F3 Memphis. I noticed this week they are hosting a service day with their 2.0. So they're doing an F3 dad style workout, 30-minute workout with the kids. And then they're going to spend 2 hours at a school in their area. So love seeing that. Well done to the men of Memphis. Great job getting the kiddos involved. I think they're doing that this
Land of rules.
Saturday.
You think they're going to like put up a sign at the playground about what
rules and ribs, baby? Rules and ribs. Let's go back to the phone lines. It's the GOAT rep.
Hello, COT podcast. This is Gnarly Goat calling from the F3 Lake Norman region. And this week I would like to hoist the Bravo Zulu flag for my buddy and my fellow Navy compadre, Das Boat, who rolls out of F3 Davidson. Good thing about Das Boat is lately he has been being the horsepower behind some CPR classes for all the packs of F3 Davidson and F3 Lake Norman. And to date, we have certified 10 packs in CPR with YHC serving as the humble instructor for these guys. But that's big time. 10 more packs running around certified in CPR because it's probably not if, but when we need that. You got to face it. Bunch of dudes our age running around in the morning doing crazy exercises. Probably going to happen at some point. It's happened to us a couple of times in the Lake Norman area. So we're getting ready, being a little more ready, man by man. So good job to Das Boat, who is heading up that effort, and it's ongoing. We're hoping to get more classes going as the summer goes along, and maybe we'll report on some more guys later. But to this date, 10 guys CPR certified thanks to Das Boat. And this is Gnarly Goat, and I'm out.
Outstanding. So good. We did that here locally too, and it was such a success. I think there's already a second sign-up sheet for another class because the first one filled up, and then more guys were like, "Hey, I can't do it that weekend, or the class was full. Let's do another one." All it takes is somebody like Das Boat or others, roasters in our region, and maybe it was
Mr. Safety, obviously.
Oh, Mr. Safety.
It's a huge part of it.
That's why I'm blanking, because it's so obvious.
It's so obvious.
As a psych myself, and I know you are too, those things are on my mind, man. I mean, it's ever vigilant when you're at a queue or you're at a workout, obviously, but when you're the psych queue, it elevates it a little bit. And if you've got a few hours on a Saturday to up your skill set for that, for your household, standing in the line at the grocery store, a woman collapsed. Like, it's just like, what do you just never know. So
that's right.
All kinds of stuff.
One more incredible T-Clap that we got to give out. And it's for our man, Drop Thrill, who I'm told this Saturday, the 16th day of April, in the 2022nd year of our Lord, he turns 50.
What?
I got a little birdie in my ear.
The big 50
that said, "Hey man,
the big DT?
Drop Thrill has his respect B-Day Saturday 4/16.
Is he going to Carowinds?
I mean, that would be par for the course with our man.
Right.
Do what you love on the day that you're born. So, brother, happy birthday to you, man. We're so grateful for you for always pouring in that service before self as it relates to the F3 mental battle and this no Oyo fight, man. You are a beacon of positivity, and we couldn't do it without you.
That's right. And just because you turn 50 doesn't mean the thrill is gone.
No,
just getting started.
No, I think the thrill's just getting started.
Getting warmed up. Happy birthday,
he's
brother.
Feeling
That's
nifty.
awesome.
I think the thrill will be feeling nifty at 50.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Drop Thrill, respect.
Amen to that. All right, you got a quote worth Repeato, but we got to hear from our man Bones, host of the Hunt for Wellness podcast. It airs every Thursday here on the F3 Nation podcast family. Let me do a quick little recap as to what the last week looked like across this podcast, this burgeoning podcast empire that we are building here that has people by the tens of thousands listening on a weekly basis, which is pretty incredible.
That is an amazing number.
Last week, the Stuff We're Trying podcast was talking about the Brick Builder. Remember our boys in Omaha, they do their annual CSOP and fundraising event for their local scholarships called the Brick Builder. Well, that's a great stuff worth trying. So they talked to those guys. The roundtable had the men of the Beast, Birmingham East, doing a regional update. Hunt for Wellness was talking about rucking and a mindset for posting at a respect age. So Drop Thrill, you might want to listen to that one. And The last 43 feet was with Brad Ritter of the School of Grit. Excellent conversation with Dark Helmet and Brad. So tons to choose from here. And remember, every Monday we're dropping a Q point with our man Wilson, who's giving you a little insight at the beginning, and then you're hearing an archived episode of that as well. So look, we got plenty for you, obviously, and we're grateful that you guys continue to listen on a weekly basis. All right, here's Bones talking about the power of the pull-up, which for those of you who are eyeing maybe your annual Murph on Memorial Day, maybe it's the one time a year you do one, you might want to start getting prepped for that.
That's right around the corner.
All right, Bones talking power of the pull-up.
Hello, COT Podcast. It's another great day for wellness. This is Bones with a health tip for the PAX of F3 Nation. When it comes to building strength and muscle, there are a handful of core exercises that every PAX member should master. Included is the squat, bench press or markin, deadlift, and the one that separates the men from the boys, the pull-up. Show up to any AO in the gloom, and you will discover PAX who are fast, PAX who love burpees, PAX who have the unique ability to quickly bear crawl, and PAX who seem to be able to do Merkins forever. What you discover less often, however, are PAX who can knock out over 10 pull-ups. Why is it that this one fundamental movement gives so many people issues? Why do men who can bench press 300 pounds, squat 500 pounds, and deadlift 1,000 struggle with simply lifting their body up? The likely answer is practice. The pull-up primarily targets the latissimus dorsi muscle group in the back, along with many other assisting muscles. These assisting muscles include the brachialis, the brachioradialis, biceps brachii, teres minor, teres major, deltoids, infraspinatus, rhomboids, levator scapulae, trapezius, and pectoralis minor.
Did you get all those?
I'm taking copious notes. A lot of vowels, but I'm tracking.
Whew. Try saying that 10 times real fast. The power of the pull-up is that it utilizes so many muscles. The more muscles a movement utilizes, the more benefit the body receives and the bigger bang for the buck. Although the best way to get better at pull-ups is to do more pull-ups, there are some strategies you can implement to improve it faster. The first is to work on your grip strength by simply hanging from the bar. Start with 10 seconds and work your way up to 60. The next step is to work on slowly lowering yourself from the bar. The majority of strength training occurs during the eccentric part of the exercise. In the case of the pull-up, that is the lowering. Lastly, do them consistently. You should have a goal of doing pull-ups at least 3 days per week. You don't have to do many, as just 3 sets of 5 can show amazing results. Hopefully, a local AO will have something to use for pull-ups, but getting something for your home is a simple solution. So PAX, separate yourself from the boys and master the pull-up. Not only will it provide you with a stronger back and arms, but you can wow your neighbors when hanging with the 2.0s at the playground. Kitty and Repeato, which one of you boys can do the most pull-ups? Keep up the good work, men. This has been Bones guiding the PAX of F3 Nation on their hunt for wellness. Gotta go.
Hey, don't let him divide us. Don't let him divide us.
I'm just not going to be a splitter on this
those
program.
head games. They are tough, man.
Oh yeah, with my lanky self and heavy frame, it's a challenge.
It's a lot
for
of man
sure.
to move. That's a lot.
There's
of
a lot
man to
of a lot of man to move north.
That's right.
Gravity works well pulling me back down, but a lot of man to move north for sure.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's and it's you look at playgrounds today and other places where we have AOs at schools when we were allowed on school properties and those things. The playground equipment has evolved.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible.
To be some crazy things. We've got a little ninja park at one of our AOs, which provides some opportunities. But I was going to say sometimes pull-up bars are few and far between. And we've had Eagle Scout projects and 2.0s and other guys get permission to buy some 6x6s and some steel pipe and put up some bars for everybody to use, the entire community, obviously not just F3 men, but we've had pull-up challenges in the past where we were guys will start out doing not even one, and then by the end of it they're banging out 15 or 20 a set. So it can be done. You can follow the Jocko method about how to get better at pull-ups.
You just do more pull-ups.
You do more pull-ups.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Well said. Thank you, Bones, as always. All right, brother, hit him with a quote. You said you got to fire one.
Well, I found this one
with it.
Well, I found this one. It's been a while. It's been in my repository, and it was a video I saw either on Twitter or the Gram, and it was an older English woman who said the quote, and then when I researched it, all it came back to me was a Greek proverb. But I've never heard it before. It may be super popular, it may be very well known, but it's the first time your boy had heard it.
Okay.
A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit.
Yep. It ain't for you.
Right.
It's not for you.
There's a leave right element in that.
Totally.
There's obviously a lead right. There's a lot there to unpack, but
I think that's from an ancient Greek proverb.
It is a Greek proverb.
Oh, sweet. Nailed it.
That's what I said.
I know.
I wish I knew which Greek might have said it, but who knows? The internet's full of lies. But
probably Maximus Decimus Meridius, if I had to guess. Defender
son.
of the North, General of the North,
husband of a murdered wife,
right. Servant to the true and rightful. And I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. So good. Probably have to watch that tonight.
Oh, yep.
All right.
Sometimes it just must be on in the background.
It must be. We got to go. I love you, man.
All right, too. Love you too, bud.
To the men of the F3 Nation. If another man hasn't told you to stay, man, we hope he has. But if it hasn't, we love you. The nation loves you. Go out there, guys. Get after it. Have a great rest of your week. Have a happy Easter. We'll see you next week. This has been the COT Podcast, connecting the packs of F3 Nation to something bigger than themselves. Please rate and review the show and share it with your F3 brothers, friends, family, and sad clowns who might need a little F3 in their lives. Follow all things F3 on Twitter at F3 Nation and follow our show at F3 COT Podcast. I'm Brian Jodas, 40, Hello Kitty.
And I'm Jamie Roseborough, 38, Repeato.
And this has been the COT Podcast.